Okay, my loves, so let's get started, and then if anybody else joins us, they can hop in. So welcome to the Mindset and Manifesting Workshop. If you are new to my world, a really big welcome. I'm Emma Kate Dawson. I'm a mindset and success coach, and I specialise in helping women to learn more about their mindset and manifestation. So how they can set themselves up to create the life and business that they are dreaming of. So, like I said, if you are new, a really big welcome. I'm not like most manifesting coaches. I am very down to earth, very grounded, and I'm really passionate about making manifesting really accessible. I think there's this real kind of misconception about manifestation that it's this thing that's sort of out there, that it's almost only for a certain sort of person. And I'm really passionate about helping ordinary women to understand that manifestation is absolutely totally possible for them. So if you have arrived here having maybe read or listened to something like The Secret, followed some other manifesting teachers, if you have read some books and are feeling just in that space of I'm a little bit confused about what to actually do, or maybe wondering, like I said, is this actually for me? You are in the right place, because I specialize in helping you to implement in a real practical, grounded way so that you can make real lasting changes to how you feel about yourself, to your mindset, to your energy, and to what you manifest. Okay, so not going to spend too long talking about myself, because that's not why we're here. But I have been coaching for almost 6 years now, which when I say that out loud, I do not know where that time has gone. In that time, I've helped hundreds of women to tap into their inner power, to become more empowered, to really start to believe in themselves, and to change their lives in really meaningful and powerful ways. So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, we are going to be diving into Manifesting 101. So we are going to look at what is manifestation, and how does it apply to you, to your life, and where might you have been blocking yourself in the past? That's the next bit that we're going to be diving into. Why might you not have manifested the things that you maybe wanted to up till now? So that's the second part. And then the final thing we're going to look at is some habits and some practices that you can start using right now that are going to set you up for success, that are going to help and support you to co-create the life that you have been dreaming of. Okay, so hang on. I forgot to pin myself. There we go. Okay. Let me no, we're good. Okay. Right. Sorry, totally lost my train of thought. Where are we going? Right. So hang on, let me just let these people in, and then we will dive on in. Okay. Just make sure that everybody is muted. We are good to go. Okay. Manifesting 101. So that's no problem. Do not worry. That's absolutely fine. It's amazing that you are here. I'm happy that you're here. So let's dive in. We're only just getting started with the good stuff anyway. So manifesting 101. What actually is manifesting? Well, in a very simple term, manifesting simply means to make real. Manifesting literally means to bring something into your reality. That is manifestation. So every time you do anything that brings something into your life, you have literally manifested it. Now, what we're talking about, or when we talk about manifestation, mostly is this concept of conscious co-creation. So being able to take a goal, a vision, a dream, a desire, and consciously decide that this is what we want in our life, and then make it our lived experience. Actually being the process of being able to take something from an intentional goal or desire and to be able to translate that into our physical world. So when we talk about manifestation, that is really what we mean. This idea of being able to take something that we want, that we desire, a vision that we have, and make it into our reality. That is the process of manifestation. Now, it can sometimes feel as though when people talk about manifestation, there's a lot of talk about energy, about alignment, about the universe, God, spirit, source energy. Just before we go any further, by the way, the words that you use are entirely up to you. I use the word universe a lot. For you, you might settle on the word God or source or light, life, nature, Mother Earth, whatever. It's not about, this process isn't about you believing something specific, more about you creating a belief and a vocabulary of your own understanding that you feel comfortable with, that you feel is aligned with you, and that really works for you. So I'll use the word universe probably as we go through. You use whatever word works for you. So as people are talking about manifestation, talk a lot about the universe providing for you, and it can feel a little bit magical, a little bit mystical, and like it's sort of a process that happens almost outside of you. The truth is that manifestation is really about your power to co-create. So what is within you and how that translates into your physical reality. And there are many ways that this works. So it comes down to your mindset and your energy. Everything in this known universe is energy. Your energy, I'm energy, the device that you're watching on this on is energy. Everything is made up of like energy in various different forms. What we think of as solid, so for example, this table that I've got my laptop resting on, the chair that I'm sat on, the unit that's behind me, all these things which are solid and it is energy that is vibrating, that's very dense. It has a very low vibrational set point, and so to us it appears solid, but it is actually energy. Now, things that have a higher vibrational set point are things like liquids, gases. Those things have very high vibrational, a high vibration. And so that's why they are liquids and gases. Now, we're very used to this concept in physical terms, but you are also vibrating at a certain frequency as well. You are energy, and your energetic set point, the frequency at which you vibrate on a daily, hourly, minute by minute basis, is a reflection of your mindset and of your emotions. So your emotions are literally energy in motion. They are literally energy going through your body at a certain vibration, at a certain frequency. So what we consider to be, if you like, negative emotions, those lower vibrational emotions, things like sadness, anger, frustration, all of those emotions, they have a very low frequency. So they go through your body and they slow down your, or reduce your frequency. They make it your frequency, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me in a minute. Vibrate slower. Those higher vibration emotions like happiness, gratitude, as they flow through you, they speed up your frequency. They amplify, that's what I'm looking for, your frequency, and you start to vibrate at a higher frequency. So your energetic set point changes depending on your emotional state, and your emotional state is fed by lots of things, but by your mindset, by your memories, and by your fundamental beliefs. So what you attract into your life is a reflection of your energetic set point. So if you are constantly in a state of feeling frustrated, feeling as though you're not worthy, doubting yourself, that is going to keep you in a frequency, in a lower vibrational frequency, and you will then attract situations, circumstances, and opportunities that are a match to that energetic set point, which often looks like things like rejection, unfortunate things happening, things like parking tickets or speeding fines, falling out with people who are close to you, all these kind of situations, which then only in turn seem to strengthen those thought processes that created that lower vibrational set point in the first place. On the flip side of that, if your dominant set point is of a higher vibration, you will start to attract higher vibrational situations, circumstances, and opportunities. Things like opportunities to maybe earn more money, a promotion, meeting new higher vibrational people who are uplifting to spend time with, having new opportunities presented to you. You start to attract those into your life, which again, in turn, reinforces that belief that good things happen to you, and therefore it strengthens that amplifies that set point, and so you attract more of it. So when it comes to manifestation, you are literally always attracting more of where you already are. And this is the point that where a lot of people feel powerless, or they start to get into self-criticism, because when you attract, like I said, you don't attract what you want, you attract more of where you are. So if you want to start to create a different kind of a life, you have to start to change where you are before you can call in something different. But a lot of people have life, mindset, manifesting the wrong way round. They want to have the thing so that they can feel better, without realizing that they need to feel better in order to be able to have the thing. And that's a real simplification of the manifestation process. You have to shift your vibrational set point in order to be able to attract what it is that you desire. Okay, and this is where a lot of people will say to me, but how can I actually do that? If this is my current reality, let's take money for an example, right? A lot of people want to manifest money because it's a great tool to create a different life, to call more things into your life. So a lot of people will want to attract more money, but they will say to me, but how can I do that? How can I start to feel differently about money when I'm in lack? So if you want to attract more money, for example, you have to feel abundant. You have to believe that it's possible for you, and you have to feel worthy of it. But if your current reality, and maybe the only reality you've ever known, is that money is something that is lacking in your life, maybe it always feels like there's more month than money, maybe you've never experienced having an abundance of money, then a lot of people will say to me, but how can I actually start to change how I feel and think about money when this is all that I have ever known? And this is where the manifesting practices really come into their own. So a lot of people think that the mindset and the manifesting practices themselves are magical. A lot of people will look for the ritual or the practice or the thing that is going to work. And if you go and you search the internet, YouTube, or whatever, there will be people who are sharing things that will say to you, do this manifesting practice in like less than 60 seconds and it works every time, and this manifesting practice works every time, and you'll get great results with this one, and all of that. And maybe you've tried some of these and they've not worked for you in the past, and we're going to get into that in a little moment. But the practices themselves aren't magical. You are. The power is within you. The magic is within you. It's all within you. All the practices help you to do is to tap into that, is to unleash that, is to allow that to flow out of you so that you can then attract back what it is that you desire. So if you've come today hoping that I'm going to share with you the one magical secret to manifestation, the secret is there is no one secret. It really is about understanding your current set point with regards to whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest, and or more generally, and then knowing the inner work that you need to do so that you can align with what it is that you desire, so that it can be made manifest in your life. Have you heard the definition of luck, where luck is where preparation meets opportunity? And this is one of my favorite ways to explain manifestation, or to explain the process of manifestation and what your part in the process is. So luck, if you like, is the thing that you want, you having that as your lived experience. That's like the luck part of it, that actually being your life. The preparation, that is your job. Your job is to prepare yourself mentally, so your mindset, emotionally, your energy, and physically, and that's the practical actions. So your job is to create the preparedness. Is that even a word? If you like, the container, the energetic container for this thing that you want. That's your job. The universe's job is the opportunity. So this is where unwillingness to work. Oh, we'll get into that in a minute. That's the practical side of it, right? The practical preparation is what we consider work. Okay, so the universe is job is the opportunity. So you do the preparing, you do the mental, the emotional, and the practical preparing, and then the universe will match that with the opportunities. What you attract when you're manifesting more often than not is the opportunities, the situations, the circumstances, the resources, and the people who will allow that vision, that dream, that desire to be made manifest. The universe provides the opportunity. Your job is to then take advantage of that opportunity, to take that opportunity, to do the thing, to do the work, right? To actually show up, to say yes to applying for the new job, saying yes to going on the date, starting the business, taking on the new project, stretching in some way. The opportunity is going to invite you to stretch. And this is the part where a lot of people become concerned and don't show up for that, because the opportunity requires stretch. It will push you out of your comfort zone. You've probably heard that expression, life begins where your comfort zone ends. Very true. That's what the opportunity will do for you. It will invite you to step out of your comfort zone, because when you step out of your comfort zone, you grow, you expand, and you're expanding your capacity to receive as well. Okay, so your job is the preparation, right? And so what does that actually look like? And again, this is where, if you divide it into these 3 sections, it becomes a little bit easier to understand. The mindset. You have got to believe that it's not only possible for you, but that it's inevitable for you. And that can be a big step for a lot of people to take, particularly if what you're manifesting is very different from your current reality. But there are ways to soften into it. There are ways to take incremental steps into that new belief, right? But you have to believe, like I said, that it's not just possible for you, but that it's inevitable for you. You also have to feel worthy of it, and you have to feel as though you deserve it, and that it will actually, you have to believe on a core level that it will actually be beneficial to your life and not in any way harm you. So if we go back to our money example, a lot of people say they want to manifest more money because they know if they have more money in their life, life will become easier, they will be able to do more things, all the things that they are dreaming of, right? But on a deeper level, have very conflicted views about money, about what it means to be wealthy, around what they think wealth they believe is possible for them, about if they actually think having more money is going to be a good thing for them. It's entirely possible to consciously know you want more money, yet through a series of past experiences, things that you were taught as a child, to actually believe that having money would in some way be detrimental to your life, either because you've been taught that rich people are bad, or that you don't trust yourself to have more money. All of these things can create a deeper belief that actually having more money would not be a good thing for you. So whilst consciously you want it, subconsciously you don't want it, and this causes conflict, and your subconscious is always going to win. It accounts for the vast majority of your vibrational set point. Okay, so that's the first bit of preparation, mindset. So you've got to be able to do the mindset work, and we're going to talk about this a bit more in a minute, to make sure that you are aligned, your mindset is aligned. That's the way I want to say it, right? To make sure that your mindset is aligned. The second part is emotional. So the energetics of it. And again, this is the bit that feels a little bit more woo-woo to a lot of people, but this is basically making sure that you are an energetic match for what you desire, that emotionally you feel ready for it. That's the second part. And the third bit is the practical preparation. do you have at least some of the things in place for what it is that you desire? So again, we're trying to manifest money. Do you have the processes in place? Do you have the things within your life that meant if you suddenly did receive a huge increase in your income, you would feel comfortable and confident to be able to manage it? And a lot of people go, yeah, of course I know what to do with loads of money. But again, consciously, yes, subconsciously, do they actually trust themselves to have that money? And do you actually have the things in place to be a great custodian of it? Because if those three things aren't prepared, then you won't allow yourself to manifest it. And we are so powerful that we can block a manifestation at any and every single point, because if we don't believe it is in our highest good, if it doesn't feel aligned with our true purpose, then we will not allow ourselves to manifest it however consciously we want it. And remember, you're not manifesting what you want, you're manifesting more of where you currently are. So this is the first main issue I think a lot of people will come up against when it comes to manifestation is they really want something. And so they're in that energy of really wanting it. Again, money is a great example of this. We've all experienced wanting more money. But what happens is when you're in the energy of wanting something, you just attract more of that into your life. So if you're in the energy of wanting more money, you are going to attract situations, circumstances, and opportunities to experience more of wanting more money. So that looks like unexpected bills. That looks like the parking fine that you didn't know you were going to get. That looks like all sorts of unexpected expenses coming into your life. Whereas, and you're like, I was trying to manifest more money. I want more money. But you are in the energy of wanting more money. Manifesting is a paradox of knowing what you desire and yet holding it really lightly with an energy of detachment. So if you've been reading or doing or practicing anything to do with manifesting, you will have heard the term surrender talked about a lot. And surrender is the ability to let go of what you desire, because you have that mindset, that full belief that not only is it possible for you, but that it's inevitable. So of course you can let it go because it's going to happen. So you can let it go. It's also being able to let go of the want of it as well. Let go of the want, let go of the how, let go of the attachment to it, whilst at the same time being able to, like I said, very lightly hold the vision and stay attached to it so that you are energetically aligned with it. And this is one of the biggest stumbling blocks that most people come up against, because we're so used to being taught that if we want something, we have to know how it's going to happen, we have to create the plan, we have to do the work, and all of those pieces. And that's not to say that you can't plan, and it's certainly not to say that you're not going to have to do some work, because of course you are. We live in a physical world, we are physical beings. We are going to have to take physical action in order for what we desire to manifest into our life. But we do the work that we do. Oh, sorry, hang on. Sorry. But the work that we do has to be from this place of surrender, this mindset of inevitability, and this ability to surrender, to let it go, so that the actions that you take from rather than an energy of forcing and hustle and must make this happen, from this energy of this is going to happen, and these are just the steps that I need to take, but I'm open to the way in which it can manifest. One of the other big stumbling blocks that people come up against is thinking that they need to work out the how. And people get very tied up in knots, thinking that they need to know how this goal that they've set is going to manifest. But actually, like I said, remember, the universe is responsible for the opportunity part of our luck formula. And what you need to focus on is the preparing, so that when that opportunity comes, you're ready to take it. And it makes sense if you're manifesting something you've never had before, or you're manifesting an upgraded version, an up-leveled version of something that you've already got, like, let's say, a promotion or a different relationship, then the process of that coming into your life is probably going to be very different than anything you've ever experienced before. So not knowing the how is not a bad thing, because you've never had this thing before. So of course you're not going to know every single step of it being being made manifest into your life, because you've never had it. Your job is to focus on the preparation, the mindset, the energy, and the practical. Okay, so the final part of really why things might not have manifested into your life before is that your mindset and energy aren't aligned with it. So what I want to do is just take you a little bit into your mindset. And I was going to do a diagram of this, but I can't actually share it. So I'll probably create one and then send it out with the replay of this, because I think it's really going to help. I want you to imagine that there are 3 layers to you and how you show up for life. So at the very top, you have your practical actions, the things that you do, the habits, and the things that you do every single day. So those are the top layer. Underneath that, you have your thoughts, your recurring thoughts, and, if you like, the narrative that you carry with you throughout your days. So the stories that you have on repeat, the memories that you keep replaying, all of those bits that form your mindset. Now, what a lot of people do is, when they want to create change in their life, they will look at what they're doing. So they will look at their habits, and they will look at their daily actions, and they will try to change those things. A lot of people do this when they set, like, New Year's resolutions, when they do things like they want to get fit, they want to stop smoking, they decide they want to lose some weight, whatever it is. They will look at those actions and try to change them. The only problem is the mindset is still the same, which inevitably just sets you up for failure, because your actions are driven by your mindset. So then what a lot of people will do is they will realize this, and then they will go to the mindset level and try to change the mindset, maybe doing things like affirmations or journaling. Yet still, it feels maybe like it's not working. Maybe they'll then do some more bits, and there's still this sense that actually the mindset isn't changing. And that's because underneath the mindset, right at your very core, deep within your subconscious, is your belief system. And this is made up of what you believe about yourself, what you believe is possible for you, what you believe about the world in general, and how the world works, and specifically how the world works for you. So you have these core beliefs. Now, most of these were made in childhood, normally by the time you were around 7, and they run your life. So your core beliefs feed into your mindset. They are what create your narrative, if you like. They're what they're the filter through which you see experiences that have happened to you. That's how you experience the world around you. That's why, for example, you and a friend could go and see a film, you both watch the same thing, but actually you can take a completely different meaning from it, because everything that you see, do, experience, remember is all done through the filters of your belief system. So if you believe, for example, that you are not good enough, this is one I battled with for years, not good enough. Every experience that you have will be filtered through that lens of not good enough. And then it only serves to reinforce it. So from a mindset perspective, the narrative is going to be all based around not being good enough. As you replay memories, which often we do, particularly when we're thinking about doing something new, we tend to refer back to things that we've already done. No matter what the experience was or what somebody else might have remembered about this particular event, you're replaying it through that filter of not being good enough. So the mindset is all a reflection of this deep belief that you're not good enough. And then the mindset feeds into the actions. The mindset feeds the habits and the daily things that you do. So then you end up in habits of things that reflect not feeling good enough. Maybe that looks like procrastinating when you're wanting to take a step forward. Maybe it looks like not following through with a business idea, because actually who would want to buy it from you anyway? So you sabotage your business efforts in some way. Maybe it looks like not sharing that post, or maybe it looks like not going for that job because actually you don't feel that you're good enough. So the actions are fed by the mindset, but the mindset is fed by the belief system. And so if it feels like you've tried to change your actions and it's not worked, if it feels like you've tried to change your mindset and it's not particularly worked, it's because you need to change the beliefs. And the actions and the mindset are your guideposts to understanding what your beliefs are. Now, some of them will be empowering and supportive, and you will absolutely want to keep them. Some of them will be self-limiting, and some of them will be total and utter BS that you are ready to release. So if it feels like you've tried things, if it feels like you've tried manifesting practices in the past, but you've not stuck to them, if it feels like you've tried to change your mindset and it's not worked, then what you need to do is to start to have a completely different approach to the way that you see your habits, the way that you see your daily actions, the way that you see the things that you've done to try and change your life, the thoughts that you have on repeat, to change your perspective on all of these things, to step out of judgment, because often what we do is we'll not be able to change a habit, or we'll not stick to something, or something won't work for us as quickly as we want. So we stop doing it, and then we layer on judgment and self-criticism. And I knew that wouldn't work for me. I knew I wasn't the kind of person that could manifest whatever. Who was I to think? What did I actually think that calling in more money was going to be this easy? All of that kind of conversation gets layered over the top, and we start to doubt our ability, our power to manifest, where the reality is what we really need to do is, like I said, to create this whole new perspective on everything that we're currently doing, everything that we're currently seeing, and start to see it all as information. Nothing more or nothing less, no judgment attached to it, no self-criticism. It is literally just information guiding you to understand what your current set point is, what your current energy is, what your current mindset and thoughts and beliefs are around a certain thing. So if you found that you are manifesting a similar situation over and over again, if you always seem to attract the friends who are really needy, or attract the relationship where you're taken for granted, or you always seem to have a boss who's an utter doofus, for want of a better word, or you never seem to have enough money, it's about learning to look at that situation from an elevated perspective, being able to step out of yourself and look at the situation with from being a compassionate observer. So instead of being in it and thinking, well, this is just me, this is how life is, this is who I am, and inevitably what then follows is this is what I deserve, or this is all I'm worthy of, or this is all I'm capable of. If I've repeated this pattern over and over again, what is the belief that is driving that? Now, this is the deep inner work that is actually the key to manifestation. This is the key to co-creation. It's not the meditations and the journaling practices and the visualizations, although those are really powerful. And we do definitely need to do those as well. But this is the deep inner work that so many people don't do. And they don't do it because it requires a great level of self-awareness, and it requires a huge amount of self-compassion, and it requires taking radical personal responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about blaming yourself. That is absolutely not where we are going with this at all. We're talking about knowing how powerful you are, knowing that you are capable of manifesting absolutely any situation that you desire. So if you have manifested this situation, there must be a reason for it. And if it's not a situation that you want to repeat or stay in, it's about looking at what is it that has manifested that situation, and what do I need to change in order to manifest something different. And the process of changing is where the journaling and the visualization and the EFT tapping and the energy clearing and all of that goodness comes in, because it allows you to create that change. But without knowing where you are right now, you can't know the actual work that you need to do. Now, don't want you to be put off by that either, by the way, because again, a lot of people are like, but I don't know how to do that. But don't worry, what you need to do is you need to stick around, because that is the part that I love, helping you to create that change. Because as you start to create that change, and it doesn't happen all in one go, it is a process. It happens in layers. It happens over a period of time. It happens sometimes in its own way. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more committed and I won't say use the word forceful, intentional, to really help it to happen. But that's the magic, right? When you do that, when you start to clear out those beliefs, when you start to reprogram your mindset, then you start to feel differently about yourself, and then that's when you start to take different actions, and that's what creates the change to allow the manifestation to happen. Hang on, I just missed that question. Let me just go back. Okay, so how do you know you've done the mindset work? Okay, two ways you know. One, you start to feel differently. You start to feel differently about yourself, about how life works for you, about what's possible for you. You start to act differently. So you start to do different things. You start to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You start to take risks. You start to invest in yourself in new ways. You start to, your habits become healthy, become supportive, all of those things, right? And two, you start manifesting things. So that's how you know you've done the work, right? And this isn't about being perfect, by the way, either. It's not about never again getting stuck in a social media scroll hole, or having to get up at 5 a.m. every single day to do some elaborate mindset routine. When I started doing this work, like almost 11 years ago now, I was a single mom. My girls were 1 and 3 or 4. No, I can't really remember. I think it was that far. It's all a bit hazy. Anybody who's had baby and a toddler will know that time's a bit hazy, right? And I was on my own with them. So to say that I felt time poor in that period of life is not an over exaggeration, right? I learned to do all of this. I totally changed my entire life whilst doing this work as a single mom with a baby and a toddler. So I was getting up at 5, but I was getting up at 5 with a teething baby, right? I was not getting up at 5 to do visualization. So I found ways, and this is one of the reasons why people like working with me, because I have a very, like I said, grounded, realistic approach to doing this work. And in fact, this leads us quite nicely into the final section that I wanted to cover with you today, which is creating the habits that and the practices that create the change. How do you know what to do? How do you actually do it? And how do you make it work for you? Because I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people come to me when they've like read books, when they've listened to things, and you almost don't know where to start, or you've tried some things and you feel like they've not worked, and then you don't really know what to do. So how do you actually know what to do and how to do it? The first thing is to, like I said, take this radical responsibility with total self-compassion and do like an audit of where you are right now. And this is the part that needs a lot of self-love and like I said, a completely different perspective. And then from that, you can start to learn what changes you need to make to your mindset, to your energy, what you need to release, what you need to change, how to get into alignment, how's it going to feel to have all these things. And then from that, that's how you can then design yourself your own blueprint for manifesting success that fits you, that plays to your strengths, that fits into your life as it is right now, that you're going to be able to commit to and be consistent with, because consistency is more important than quantity. So you are far better to pick one thing and do it consistently for a period of time. I think they say it's like 21 days, it's 28 days to create a new habit. Do that. Pick one thing, do it. I'll come back to that question in a second. Do it consistently for 28 days or 21 days. And then from there, then add in another thing and then add in another thing. You are far better to do it that way than to think, right, that's it. I'm now going to do this and this and this and this every single day before I start my day. And then a few days in, it feels overwhelming, you feel exhausted, the self-sabotage kicks in, because that's what happens when you try and create change. Your brain's like, I don't want you to create this change. I know those, you know consciously that these beliefs aren't supporting you, but that does not mean that your subconscious mind wants to give them up. Thank you very much. It's kept you alive this long, and as far as it's concerned, change is not good. And that's where self-sabotage comes from. And so then you stop doing it, and then you feel like it doesn't work for you, and then you end up back where you started again. So pick one thing. That's what I would always say. One thing. I always say, think big, dream big, but act small. And I don't mean as in like be small, mean as in like take small steps. Small incremental steps will get you so much further than the odd big step every now and again, because remember that your mindset will shift in layers, in a process. It's not all going to happen one day. And when you're creating new beliefs, when you're creating new neural pathways, these things, they need to be embedded in. They need to be gone over and over and over and over again, because that's what's already happened to create the old ones. It's the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. Well, that's what you need to do to create the new ones. So it really is about consistency. And if you can only find 5 minutes and do one thing, pick the one thing that's going to help you, or that you believe is going to help you in the biggest way, and do that first, and then add in. And remember to pick something that you're going to enjoy. The whole point of this is, whatever practices you do, whatever mindset and energy work you do, you always want to do it with an energy of, and a mindset of, not that you need to fix yourself or that there's something wrong with you, but that you are empowering yourself, that you are already good enough, worthy and deserving, and now you're just doing that final bit to align yourself so that you can receive what it is that you are here to receive. Live the life that you came here to live. So bring that mindset and energy to your practice. And it needs to be something that's going to make you feel good. The deeper work, the clearing work, can sometimes feel like it's going to be really hard work. Some of the things can be painful to look at. Some of the things can make you feel angry, frustrated, annoyed. But the daily practices, they need to be things that are going to make you feel more confident, more empowered, that are going to inspire you, that are going to motivate you, that are going to raise your vibrational set point, because that's what we want the practices to do. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's about raising your vibrational set point, changing the frequency that you're at, so that you can attract these higher vibration situations, circumstances, and opportunities. Okay, so the practices fall into 4 categories, right? Writing, speaking, seeing, and doing. There are almost an unlimited number of things that you can do. And if you decide to come and work with me further after this workshop, I have got a huge vault of practices, tools that so you can try them out and find your way. A lot of these things, it really is about trying them, seeing how they work for you, adapting them to your life, to your preferences, and really making it your own. It's never about, I don't have like a magic 5-step manifesting formula that I'm going to give you, and do this and you will start manifesting like a mofo, because that's not how it works, right? It works when you make it your own, when you tweak and adapt it to reflect the changes that you need to make, because the changes that you need to make will be unique. And this is why when you're following any manifesting teachers or anybody talking about law of attraction or any of those things, and they say to you, I did this and then this happened, you have to be not wary, but you don't know where they started from. So let me give you, for example, right? A lot of people will talk about how they invested in themselves and then it created this like massive change in their life. And it probably did. It almost certainly will have worked for them. But what they don't always share is what was their current mindset? What was their current energy? What were their thoughts about money at this time? What was their mindset around money at this time? Around investing in themselves, around what was possible for them, around how money worked, around how money worked for them, about 101 other nuanced things that affect the outcome that you will get from doing anything. And this is where you need a huge amount of self-awareness, because you have to understand your own current set point, your preferences, and your ability. No, not ability, that's not the right word. That'll come to me in a minute. But what a lot of people will do is they will try and copy what somebody else has done, the kind of like the last bit of it, if you like, because that's what a lot of people will share, particularly online coaches, right? A lot of them will say, I invested in this big thing and it opened up this space for me. And now look, I've created this amazing business. And if you invest in my thing, then this will work for you, right? It doesn't always work because it's nuanced, because where you are is different from where they are, from where they started from, right? So it's not a case of if you do this, this will work. So lots of tools are really powerful in supporting you to create change. Visualization is so seeing what you want, the life that you want, replaying that in your mind before it happens is really powerful. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what you're imagining and what's actually happening. So you're literally training your brain that this is your current reality. Visualization is really powerful. The same goes for writing, so for journaling, for scripting. Really powerful. Again, remember, your mind doesn't know the difference. So if you're writing it down in the present tense with a whole ton of gratitude like wedged in there, your brain's going to start to believe that this is your reality, and then you're going to be able to start acting accordingly. Same with speaking. Okay, you speak it out loud, the same as when you write it or you see it, your brain is going to start to believe that all these things are real. And that leads you to the final point, which is the acting, starting to act as if. Now, for me, this has been, still sometimes is, the hardest bit to balance right. Being able to step into that future version of yourself who has already manifested the thing and act as that person is a great way to put you into alignment and to speed up the manifestation process. But again, this is where you have to know yourself, not get stuck in your own excuses, but be able to move forward in a way that's aligned for you. Again, it's this this paradox, if you like, of being able to act as if, but also being absolutely fine with where you are right now, but not getting stuck in either one of them, and not thinking that any one of these is the magical tool, right? The magic, because you are the magic. And it really is, like I said, about knowing what you need to do to be able to create that shift. So I, for a really long time, would read and listen to people who had spoken about creating these big investments and thought, that's what I need to do. And I tried it over and over again, but it didn't work for me because I hadn't done enough of the deep mindset work to change what I believed was possible for me. So it didn't matter what I did. And actually making these big investments just put me into a state of anxiety and panic and feeling rushed. And I hate feeling rushed anyway, but feeling rushed to quickly make that investment back so that actually I hadn't made a mistake. The energy behind it was all wrong. So you have to know, and again, it's not about not investing in yourself, and it's not about not taking those big steps forward. It's about making sure that you've done the preparation work and that you continue to do the preparation work even as you're taking those steps forward, because that work is what supports you in being able to step forward in an aligned way, in an expansive way, being able to step out of your comfort zone. But it only works when you do it all together. Like, you couldn't just do the mindset and energy work and then not take any practical steps. You wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't go anywhere. You'd stay stuck in analysis paralysis with the universe like constantly bombarding you with all of these opportunities, and you're just like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to manifest it. I'm visualizing. It's just going to happen. You still have to take the practical steps, but if you just try and take the practical steps, which is what a lot of people do, then the mindset and the energy is not aligned. So it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to have the results that you want because you're not aligned with it. That all making sense? Let me just go back to this question. So what if you think you are better than what you are? Do you mean in specific, like a specific thing? Because I don't know, my personal belief is that we're all like the perfect being skills wise. Okay, so with a specific thing. But again, who's to say that you're not as good as what you think you are? And you know, everybody will have their opinion on everything. Everybody has their opinion on your work, on what you do, all of those kind of things. There are some things where you do still need to develop skills in certain areas, where you do need to continue to practice things. But when you practice them, when you do them more, when you do them from a place of, I know that there's more available for me, I know that I can improve my skills on this, then, you know, practice makes progress. So you're always going to continue, aren't you, to improve your skills in anything the more that you do it. But I would look at, why do you not think you're as good as what you think you are? Who's told you that? And again, remember that everybody's opinion is being fed through the lens of their beliefs. So I got really scratchy throat now. So just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true. Okay, I think it's more my expectations. Okay, so yeah, again, like, where's that story come from? And this is where you turn detective and you start to question everything that you think about yourself, about life, about the way the world works for you. And you put it all through this kind of this you know, this test of, is this supporting me? is this supporting me in creating the life that I want? And if the answer is no, then it's something that you can choose to change, release, reprogram, realign in some way. You are not required to hold on to anything that doesn't serve you in creating the life that you desire. So you have full permission to to change your mind. You have full permission to change the way you think. You have full permission to let go of beliefs that are no longer serving you, to remove yourself from situations that don't work anymore, to take yourself out of energy draining situations, to prioritize yourself, to spend time and energy in creating these mindset shifts if that's important to you. You are not required to keep hold of things that are not serving you. And a lot of people, women in particular, that's a huge generalization, but it's often true, feel that they need to wait for somebody's permission to do the work, somebody's permission to invest in themselves in some way, or to spend time on themselves, or to put their energy into something that's important to them. But actually, the only person's permission that you need is your own. And you can always give yourself permission to start to do the work, or to continue to do the work, or to double down on your efforts to do the work. And I think that is the first hugely important, empowering step, is to know that you are the power. You have the power. And it really is just a case of learning how to access it, how to tap into it, how to embody it and unleash it in a way that feels aligned and authentic for you, isn't somebody else's way of doing things, isn't about becoming somebody that isn't you, isn't about changing everything about you, but is about becoming that more authentic version of you, that more confident version of you, more empowered version of you, who absolutely knows that her dreams and desires are not just possible, but inevitable, and so is willing to do the work, and not just the practical work, but the mindset and the energy work, so that when those opportunities present themselves, you are, I was about to say ready, but let's be honest, we're never ready, more ready than not to take that step forward. Okay. So that was everything that I wanted to share with you. And as I look at my clock, it's 11:11. Of course it's 11:11. So if you have loved this, if you are ready for the next step, then I would love for you to join me inside Becoming Magnetic. Now, as I said a few moments ago, right, I heard so much about you have to invest in big ways in yourself, so it opens the door, and all it ever did was to create panic and stress in me, because that was where I was at. No amount of big investing, and trust me, I have invested thousands in various aspects of my personal growth, my business growth. Some of it has been amazing, some of it has been okay, and some of it has been downright disappointing. But some of the biggest shifts I made were through lower investments that I made in myself, lower price points. And it took me a while to work out why. And the reason was because I didn't feel rushed. I felt like I had the time and the space to absorb the information and to integrate it in a way that worked for me, to try out different things. Remember, everything is, like I said, everything is nuanced. So you have to take the teachings of somebody else and try them out and adapt them and tweak them and make them your own. And the lower investment things, I had the time and the space to be able to do that. So that was what I decided I wanted to create. And that's what I have created this year inside Becoming Magnetic. It is a totally flexible, low cost membership. So there's 3 levels. You can go for the mini membership, which has in the 2 core programs. So they are the Manifesting Masterclass, which takes you step by step through the entire manifesting process, and the Hub, which is where there are recordings of other live trainings, there's meditations, there's guided EFTs, there's all sorts of goodness. That is the core of Becoming Magnetic, those 2 programs. So you can do the mini membership and get those 2 programs. It's entirely flexible, there's no minimum term, and you also get a monthly group coaching call as well, where we dive into something new or new area each month, and then we open it up for group coaching. So you can do the mini membership. That is currently £22 a month. Or you can go for the next level of membership, which I've just called flexible membership. They're all flexible, don't know why I called it that, where you get those 2 core programs, but you also get 2 other programs as well, which they're all released in consecutive months. So you also get Mindset Recoded, which is a deeper dive into mindset, sharing some different tools to what I share in the Manifesting Masterclass, and also the Quantum Manifesting Activation, which is a 30-day kind of up-level program for when you're really ready, when you've got that foundation laid and you're ready to really turn the dial up. Plus, when you do that flexible membership option, that one's £47 a month. You also get a complimentary ticket to come and join me for the Believe in You bootcamp, which I'm running live at the end of March, which I'm really excited about. And you get quarterly, we do a quarterly review and planning as well. So you can do that audit, that check-in of where am I, where did I hit my goals, where did I not, what's happened, what can I put in place, all of that. So you get those 2 bonuses as well. Or if you're really ready to go all in, there's an all-in option. I like to keep it simple. There's an all-in option where you get instant access to those 4 programs, plus the 2 bonuses, plus you get 6 one-to-one calls with me as well. So I have very deliberately created different levels of investment depending on where you are right now, depending on what you're ready, what you feel comfortable to invest in yourself, so that yes, investing in yourself is always going to stretch you a little bit, right? It's not something that we're hugely familiar with doing. It still feels uncomfortable. It still brings up all sorts of conversation about, should I, is it going to be worth it, will it work for me, am I worth it, do I deserve it, all of that kind of chat. It still brings up all of that. So when that comes up, just know that's all very normal. But I wanted to create a space where you could start where you are and have that time and that space without pressure, so that you can immerse yourself in the content, so that you can test and evaluate and tweak and do it at your pace, and so that you can, when you're ready to turn the dial up, it's all there ready and waiting for you. But there isn't that pressure that I must invest in this huge way or I will never change my life. I am so sick of that narrative in the online coaching space. So I've done what most coaches will tell you not to do, and I have created something, a flexible, affordable space that meets you where you are and has everything you need to create those changes that you are craving, that you deeply desire, and that you absolutely deserve. So if you want to know more about becoming magnetic, I will be sending out an email shortly, which will have the replay link to this workshop, and the replay link so you can go and check out Becoming Magnetic. But if you want to go before then, it's emmadawsoncoaching.com/becoming-magnetic. So you can head over there, have a little look. I'm going to open up my diary next week. So if you want to hop in for a chat about what your next step is, if you're unsure whether one-to-one coaching is right for you, whether you want to learn about some of my other programs. I've got some other amazing programs as well. I'm going to be launching something in April, which is the Empowered Woman, which I absolutely love. But I'm doing that again in an entirely new way. So it's going to come with an entire 12 months of support to implement and integrate. Because that's how long it takes. Not necessarily, it's not going to take the whole year. And, you know, some things will happen really quickly, but when you are looking at making sustainable change, when you want to make meaningful, sustainable change, you have to commit for the longer term. And that's now why everything I do has this longer term support built into it, because that's what I found really helps to, like I said, give you that support to be able to make that lasting change. So yeah, if you wanted to talk about anything else, what the right next step is for you, then I will be opening up my diary. So again, just reply to the email and we can get you booked in. Okay, that's it for this workshop. Never done one on a Saturday morning before. It's a slightly strange time. I'm doing a project at the moment, so yeah, this was a time that fit. So if you've been with me live, thank you so much. If you are watching on the replay, then as always, thank you for spending your time and energy with me, and I will see you again really soon. Bye-bye.